first of four Seattle City Council debates was held earlier this week right here on Fox 13 Plus, and we wanted to know, are debates really effective in helping people decide who to vote for? So I'm joined by our Fox 13 political analyst, Randy Pepple, the founder of shiftwa.org, and Kathy Allen over there, president of the Connections Group, to find out. So as you guys watched carefully, one debate down, we got 3 more to go. If you were moderating these debates, what is the one question you would want to ask each candidate? I'm going to start with you, Randy.
Well, the question that I always want to ask them is, why are you running? But since you're limiting me to just one, I'd refine it down to, why are you running in less than 20 words? Because you want them to have thought why it is they're running. And frankly, if they can't answer it, they're not ready.
That's a good one. What about you, Kathy?
Well, actually, I'm looking at this, and this is a hard row to hoe. I mean, in all of this, what you've got are newbies that have never run for office, seldom have gone to a city council meeting. They are not anyone who can read a book or actually go to a training about this. What I thought is that they both showed just a lot of amateurishness on the first night. What happens is that one was just, Sacco was looking so wild and crazy with always putting his hand up and shaking one, and then the other, in terms of taking a look at what was going on with Marin Costa, is that she seemed not sure of herself, always kind of shaking her head no every time Sacco said something. It was just amateurish. And I looked at it. I'm going to quote Randy on this one and say, you know, the only thing that really happens in debates is that people can lose more than the other person lost. And that's this whole kind of rate of things going around. It's new. There's 4 of these races, and frankly, they don't give me a lot of confidence that really a new city council with so little experience is there. The question I think you should ask is, hey, what city law have you ever worked with? What city process have you ever changed? And more importantly, have you ever sat down on a first-name basis with a city council member and actually worked on a project together?
Kathy, that was more than one question. Do you have one in particular that you like?
Yeah, all 3.
All 3 questions?
No, actually, this is one question.
Okay.
Just name me one case where you've had direct experience with something that has to do with the legal reality of what experience on the city council means. These have no experienced people.
I would be very scared if I was a candidate and you guys were moderating, because those 2 questions were actually really tough. And so far, we know that during the council debates here, we know that all of them involve new faces. There are no debates involved right now on the schedule where incumbents are involved, right? So does that change the game a little bit? Does that help these new candidates get their name out there, get their agenda out there? Or, as Kathy just said, Kathy says it's all about who does worse in these races.
Well, it's about preparing yourself first and foremost. So, I mean, the debates are helpful because they force the candidate to think about things, and he or she has to come up with, why am I running? Why am I better than the other person? Or why should people vote for me? So it's good from that standpoint, but it's the gaffe, it's the mistake. That's what these debates come down to. It's what is your opponent going to find in what you say to put into the next mail piece or into the next email to try to raise money.
You know, and it's Nikki Haley can get on nationwide TV, and she can sit there and pound at any one of her opponents, and she can pull it off. But in this case, when Sacco kept indeed going back and saying, well, that's where my opponent is wrong, and that's where she's wrong, it made it sound just too unprofessional that you see somebody who's running who, like 12 different times, he refers to the same 2 issues and says that this is negative, this is negative. You know, Seattle and TV is a very, very personal kind of reflection of your own image. And when you start sitting there and talking too loud or being negative or actually looking like, well, there you go again, the fact is I think that the public takes offense to that.
So you thought it was too negative. You think that people should stay more positive during these debates?
You know what? Both of these 2 came out with 3 different issues, same 3. And when they talked about affordable housing, and they talked about homelessness, and they talked about public safety, you know, the fact is it's hard for the public to say, what's different here? What's the difference? How do you make it easy for me to choose between you two? And really what it was, it's going to be how they see the people and how they like them. Would they like to have a beer with them? Would they like to actually sit down and talk to them about issues? Fact is, no, I think that they didn't give us an impression last night that we wanted a longer conversation with them.
Mm-hmm. And the reality is there's a difference between being negative and providing contrast with your opponent. Right. And Rob Saka was trying to do that. He was trying to provide that contrast with Ms. Costa. But he was just coming off as, when you have to say, I'm the only candidate in this race, hey, there's only two people here. I mean, come on, just be straightforward and tell us, you know, what is the difference between you and your opponent?
Outside of their performances, though, because we only have 30 seconds left, what advice would you have for these candidates moving forward for these debates? How do you perform better?
You know something, I just had a compliment. I was going to say I compliment not only the stations but the reporters you had, because we haven't done this before. We haven't put every one of these council members in front of a camera. Very new for Seattle. The important part is that I would say the one thing they need to do is they need to practice in front of a camera. They need to practice being shorter. They need to practice not sort of like looking around to see where the camera is. It was just the fact that they were new. Practice would do a lot.
Ready?
Be succinct. You're trying to get the attention of the voters, give them two reasons to vote for you and not for your opponent.
All right. Great insights, both of you. So Kathy Allen, Randy Pepple there, thank you so much. Don't forget, you can catch all of our previous roundtables as well as the debates on our connected TV app. The Fox Local app is free to download on Fire TV, Apple TV, Android TV, or Roku. Until next time.